Now, if we have understood the concept of convex concave rule, that is, if concave moves on convex, the direction of the sliding will be towards the same direction of the movement of the bone. That is, sliding is towards the same direction of the movement of the bone if concave surface moves on convex. If convex surface moves on concave, the sliding will be occurring in the opposite direction. So the sliding, you can see the blue indicator is occurring in this direction, whereas the movement of bone is towards the opposite direction. So when convex surface moves on concave, sliding is in opposite direction. If we have understood this concept, then we'll move on with arthrokinematics during flexion and extension and atlanto-occipital joint. Atlanto-occipital joint is formed between the occipital condyle of the skull and the superior articulating facet of the atlas. The surface of the occipital condyle is convex, whereas the surface of the superior articulating facet of the atlas is concave. So which bone moves? The skull or the occipital condyle moves on the atlas while flexing and extending the cervical vertebra, or while flexing and extending the cervical region. So the convex is moving on concave surface. We can visualize here. So during extension at the atlanto-occipital joint, for the head has to move posteriorly. That means the occipital condyle will roll posteriorly and the sliding will occur in opposite direction. Why? Because the convex is moving on concave, so therefore sliding will be in opposite direction. So during extension, skull moves posteriorly, therefore convex occipital condyle rolls posteriorly and slides anteriorly. You can see in the second diagram, the convex occipital condyle rolls and moves posteriorly to create the extension. Therefore, the sliding of the occipital condyle will be anteriorly, according to the convex moving on concave rule. Second, arthrokinematics during flexion at the atlanto-occipital joint. During flexion, skull moves anteriorly, therefore the convex surface of the occipital condyle rolls anteriorly and slides posteriorly, because according to the rule, the convex moving on concave means it will slide posteriorly in this condition. So during flexion, the occipital condyle rolls anteriorly and slides posteriorly. Again, I repeat, the convex surface is moving on concave surface. So therefore, sliding is to the opposite direction of the movement of bone. Arthrokinematics during extension at atlanto-axial joint. The atlanto-axial joint is formed between the inferior articulating facet of atlas with the superior articulating facet of axis. The shape of inferior articulating facet of atlas is slightly concave and superior articulating facet of axis is slightly convex. So the concave moves on convex because atlas moves on axis. So what will be the rule when concave moves on convex? Sliding will be in the same direction to the movement of bone. So let's see the description further. During extension, atlas along with the skull moves posteriorly. Therefore, slightly concave inferior facet of atlas rolls posteriorly and slides posteriorly because concave is moving on convex. We can see the second diagram here. The atlas along with the skull moves posteriorly or tilts posteriorly to create extension, and the surface of the inferior articulating facet of atlas is concave, therefore concave moving on convex surface of axis. So therefore the sliding also will be towards the posterior direction. Now arthrokinematics during flexion at atlantoaxial joint. So during flexion, atlas along with the skull moves anteriorly. Therefore, concave inferior facet of the atlas rolls anteriorly and slides anteriorly because concave is moving on convex. You can see in this diagram, for flexion, the atlas along with the skull has to move anteriorly. Therefore, the concave moving on convex gives us the slide towards anterior direction. So intercervical joint from C2 to C7, the joint mainly is the epiphyseal joint or the facet joint. So the facet joints are near to flat, therefore it will slide on each other. The inferior articulating facet of the superior vertebra will slide on the superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra. This is the inferior articulating facet of the superior vertebra which slides on the superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra. Again, you can visualize the movement here. During flexion, the facets are sliding anteriorly and posteriorly. See, during flexion it is sliding anterior, during extension it is sliding posteriorly. You can see it is sliding anteriorly during flexion, sliding posteriorly during extension. The inferior articulating facet will be sliding. So the arthrokinematics during extension at intercervical joint. Here the epiphyseal joints are flat, therefore there is no rolling, but sliding will be towards the direction of the movement of bone. So during extension, the inferior articulating surface of superior vertebra slides dash and dash on superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra. So what is the answer? It is posterior and inferior. So why there is a addition of inferior? Because of the 45 degree orientation of the facet at the cervical region, which we have discussed in the general anatomy. There is a 45 degree of orientation of the facets at the cervical region. This angulation of the facet with the horizontal plane is about 45 degree. So you can see here during extension, let's take C2 moving on C3. So during extension, the bone is moving posteriorly. Therefore, the inferior articulating facet of the C2 will slide posteriorly and inferiorly. You can see the vector here, posterior inferior vector. Similarly for C3, C4, C4, C5, C5, C6, C6, C7, inferior articulating facet of the superior vertebra will be sliding posteriorly and inferiorly on the superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra. You can see here for C6 and C7 as well. Now during flexion, it is opposite. During flexion, the bone is moving anteriorly. So therefore, during flexion, inferior articulating facet, let's take it for C4 and C5. The inferior articulating facet of the C4 slides dash and dash on the superior articulating facet of the C5. So what will be the direction of movement? It is anterior and superior direction slide of C4 on C5 during flexion. So this superior direction is because of the 45 degree angulation of the facet joint or the orientation of the facet joint. Again, I'll repeat, during flexion, the C4 is moving anteriorly. This will be same for C2 till C7. We are just taking C4 and C5 movement, for example. The C4 is moving anteriorly during flexion. The C4 bone or vertebra is moving anteriorly. So during that, its inferior articulating facet will slide anteriorly and superiorly on the superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra, that is C5. Again, you can visualize this video here to see the sliding of the facets, the sliding on the superior articulating facet of the inferior vertebra. See here, this inferior articulating facet is sliding anterior superiorly while flexion and posterior inferiorly while extension on the superior articulating facet of inferior vertebra.